Well, hello, and welcome back to the Techness Corner. I am your host, Seb Luca, for this morning, evening, or afternoon, depending on where you are in the world today. What do we got on the agenda today? Well, as you know, we got the Sickle Flow. Today we are not unboxing, we are going to be unboxing an RGB variant of the fans that I have put in my rig. I was very impressed. I was impressed with the price. I was impressed with the quality for the price. And I was impressed with the general rounding and sculpted nature of the fans for the price. So as a result, I've decided to get one for my rig as well. That doesn't break the bank, but it actually replaces on X over there, my gaming PC, when it's actually up and running and functional and working and I'm not working with it. It's a Cooler Master H500M case, and it came with a old school Sickle Flow, I believe, 140mm standard fan, and I've just always thought that backside is, especially what I can see on it, requires a little bit more RGB bling. It doesn't have to be beaming. I have generally the RGB a bit lower, but I like a contoured, shape of it, and there's a black spot there where the exhaust is. So that brings us to what we're having a look at today, and that's the 140mm Sickle Flow ARGB fan from Cooler Master Yo. So let's go. So here it is, guys. Got it here, ready to roll with. Before we get stuck into the unboxing, let's have a closer look at the marketing spiel and material and just assess the specifications, because there's nothing really written on the back of the box. It seems like there is, but it's very limiting, including fan size and depth and whatnot, all the specs that we need to know before we're getting ourselves into the purchase of this item, so let's have a look. Let's delve deeper in and have a look, peeps. All right, so here we are, people, direct from the horse's mouth. Sickle Flow 140 ARGB fans produced by Cooler Master at the Cooler Master website. Okay, choose the most is what they want you to have, and especially for the price, it's not going to break the bank. So we've got our new blade design, we've got our hands fan frame, sealed bearing structure, updated lighting design, certified and compatible with what? Aura Sync, MSI Mystic Light Sync, Polychrome Sync, RGB 16.7 million colors, and I'll tell you right now, it is also compatible with Gigabytes Fusion 2.0, so don't stress, now you know, okay? Now, guys, just on a serious note, make sure that you are getting the updated design. It's completely different, reformed fan for the price. It's really, really good what they did. They could have just left it as is, but yeah, they've gone one step further. And at the moment, you can get them for 17 Australian dollars. They retail for approximately 25 each. These are the 140mm. The 120mm are a little cheaper. So scrolling down, next generation of Sickle Flow fans, all right? And the reason why I got this as well is not for the RGB bling, but also for slightly more CFN per se, which is airflow being sucked or being pushed through the case on the hull, so not your radiator fans. And one of the reasons, because it's pretty impressive for the price, the performance that this fan gives you, okay? 67 CFM, I'll say it right now, which is pretty impressive. I'll verify that when we get down to the specs, okay? But on a side note, using frosted fan blades to enhance light dispersion for more vibrant and luminescent effects and I guess colors. So it's nice. It's one of those sort of mixed bags. You can get sort of that in-between color, and that means that you can really get into that color spectrum of that 16.8 million colors available to us, okay? Here's the material for the enhanced fan frame design. A structure reducing turbulent flow and noise and increasing overall work efficiency. And this has got really low noise on a comparison level to other fans, even at full span or spinning, should I say. Okay, maxes out at approximately 27 decibel, which inside a case set up within unison with the CPU temps will never get high unless it's under a massive load. So that's something to know, that it's not going to add to the sound. If anything, you may reduce sound, okay? I'm not saying this is like a Noctua, but for the price, this is there it is, 27 decibel. For the price, very, very effective, okay? New bearing sealant, showing you the material here, makes it a dust-proof properties as well as prevents sleeve lubricant from leaking. So that if that was an issue before, it definitely won't be an issue now. So as you can see, the new blade design, it's optimized blade design with an updated curve that improves airflow and air pressure. And I will show you guys the old one if we can get into it right at the end before I change it over, just so that you can see it's not a white fan, it's a black fan, but it hasn't got the RGB bling. That's why it's not black, white, and needs the added luminosity that the white brings. But just to confirm, they have from the horse's mouth, this is where you want to get your information so that you can hold them accountable. 67 CFM and air pressure 2.25. Air pressure is not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the airflow, and that's pretty high. The 120 millimeters or the 12 centimeter fans, your standard fans, case fans in that case, they actually have 64 CFM, and this is per fan, this isn't per 3 units. I, for example, picked up 3 in-wind fans at one stage. They were RGB addressable, fully addressable fans. They were really well priced as well, but in total they had about 60 something CFM movement capabilities. So the fact that you're getting 67 CFM from one, I'm guessing at max flow, is very, very impressive for the price of 17 Australian dollars. Okay, so that brings us into the specs. Or just on the side note, you got your secure connection. It's got an extra clip, so you know how those RGB connectors, and especially in back of my case, is very important because of the fact that it's so cramped and it's so tight, and it's gonna be lucky. I don't know if I'll show you guys it operational in Xtrfy because of the fact that I might need to get an extender, but if it's long enough, the cable, and we'll find out in a second's time when we open up the box, then I might show it operational in the last 5 seconds of the video after I show you guys what the old version of it looks like and what to look out for to make sure that you don't actually end up getting. To the technical mumbo jumbo to confirm, product number for yours, you may have popped it in, is the MFX B4DN14NPAR1 product number. Addressable RGB, fan bearing types, your rifle bearing, and it's got a fan speed from 650 to 1400 RPM, give or take 200 RPM, 67 CFM. The fan noise level ranging from 10 to 27 decibel. Fan dimensions, so it's obviously your 140 by your 140. It's 25 millimeters deep, that's 2.5 centimeters. Make sure you're aware of it regarding any radiators and that you might have packed up against it. 160,000 hours may not sound like much if you think about it logically, but it's got a 2-year warranty attached as well. It's your 5 volt, that's something to be wary of. If you've got an older system, you'll be running a 12 volt header. If you ever chuck these 5 volt headers on a 12 volt header, then connectors on a 12 volt header, you will blow the RGB in the item per se instantly. So be aware of that if you're lucky. If you're lucky and it doesn't backfire and go the other way as well. Guys, we still will go through the unboxing. I've just made a big boo-boo. There may be 2 varieties out there because there are at times. Okay, I've just realized that the rated voltage is 12 volts. It comes with a 4-pin header, so that is definitely 12 volts on the standardized main, that is the RGB scene. Okay, so that means that it will have a 4-pin because generally your 3-pin is a 5 volt. Okay, and it's gonna make for me, I will definitely need an extender. It's going to make installation a little more difficult and probably 1 day away from getting done effectively because I've got only one 12 volt on the motherboard, one 12 volt header. and it's completely at the bottom behind the vertical mounted GPU, which makes it a little difficult to access extremely quickly. And without the extension lead, it may be difficult because everything's tucked in at the back. Otherwise, I'd have to pull everything to the front of the case and you'd see it on the bottom side of the GPU. So it wouldn't look very sightly. So with that being said, 2 years to confirm here. Fan weight's about 200 grams. From the series Sickle Flow 140A RGB, now we all know, okay? So save you guys the hassle of verifying any type of specs that have been promoted. Anything outside of these boundaries, you're going to have to find out yourself. Here you can see it's stagnant, okay? And there is much more of a curvature on the fan blades. As you can see here, much more of a curvature in comparison to what the old one was, which was more case flow. I think this has been sort of designed to be able to also do a little bit of radiator pushing. Won't be ever as effective as a dedicated radiator fan, something to consider, a static pressure pushing fan in that regards, but not too shabby whatsoever. It's got some sound dampeners and vibration dampeners, with both sides having rubber bumpers attached. You want to make sure when you're screwing these in, when you're screwing them in, you don't go too overly tight. You never want to go too tight, but you don't want to be too loose. Just firm enough to grasp the elasticity and depress it ever so slightly. Any more, it'll warp around, and you might see that. If it triggers you, once you know and you see it, it's going to annoy you always. Okay guys, so that's that. Let us move to the unboxing. I apologize if that's all you wanted to see. Then yeah, now you know me. I get through a bit of the info first and give you all the information that you're after. Make sure you're not wasting your time and you've got the right item. And yeah, let's have a look what's in the box today. Just grabbing the good old trusty multi-tool. One of these tools is great. It allows you to be able to carry a serrated knife with you. Very, very sharp this, so I want to be careful. No, I'm joking guys. You should be always very careful with this item, and also while you're carrying it out in your pockets to continue, because of the fact that it's illegal otherwise. But if you're a bit of a system builder, you're more than entitled to carry it around, and you've got a genuine reason to not be stabby. So remember that, people, kids, don't be stabby, be twisty, and use it for your unboxing videos. Or you can just say you're a YouTube presenter, and as a result, you do unboxings. You never know when you're going to be doing an unboxing. So yeah, you've got it with you. Hey, legitimate reason, or at least we'd like to think. So let us continue on. Closer look at the box. Now that our knife is prepared, we've got the Sickle Flow, and it's a bit of a nice finish for the box lovers out there. Nothing much to go through, just the emphasis, because we've already gone through it. Just the emphasis of the new frame with updated lighting design is what you want to make sure that you've got on your box, so that you know you've got the new one. Going to the back side, we got a little bit of information, but not much, just to verify. It does mention some specs and whatnot that we went through, as well as a few of the notes and the marketing material emphasizing the new design, etc. So I probably could have gone from this, because with that being said, you know, you don't have cord length or anything like that, which is annoying. You don't have as much of that information on the back side of the Sickle Flow standard 120 RGB, probably because there isn't as much space, even though the information is essentially written in the same font sizing. Anyway, enough said, let us get into the unboxing, eh? A little slip there, enables us to get a bit closer to our Sickle Flow. Here we go. Now you know. Well, you're about to. So here we go. Coming back to the fucking program. You've joined Techno's Corner. So Bluka Slow Jam. It's jarred on something. No, the box may rip. I don't want to rip the box. There we go. little bit painful that was. So our Sickle Flow RGB fan I present to you all. Wow. Oh my God, it's beautiful, yo. I'll tell you why, because they don't skimp out. $17 Australian dollars, that's what, like $12, 140mm fan of this type of quality. Before we pull it out, let's have a closer look. Fan cable, pop it back on this. Actually pull it out. We got our what is PWN fan and PWN fan cable coming out. That's a 4-pin, so you can control with the PWN. You can control the speed by placing it connected direct to the motherboard on a PWN header, and you should be able to control the speed even in the BIOS, which is really good. Save you the hassle of having to have additional software as well. On a side note, if you can control it in the BIOS, I always do. It starts off from boot that way, and it's not fluctuating as much. Sometimes you notice that the fans don't work as strongly as they should, or they might be on full force in the BIOS. You can always suss that out and address it in the BIOS itself. So that's some extra, a little bit of a tip for you. Suss that out. If you're unaware, you can do that sort of thing if you're a novice. And guys, I'm honestly a bit confused, because perhaps what I have here is a 5-volt rated 3-pin. So we might be able to actually do the install in the end. How good is that? Okay, so I'm going to have to verify that and make sure that their proprietary stuff isn't the case. In fact, I'll have a quick look at the RGB 12 volt I have and pull it apart and just verify whether it was the 3 or the 4-pin, because I'm tripping out now. But before we do that, the other side neatly and conveniently has got a 3-pin male as opposed to your 3-pin female, so you can interconnect this. You don't need to get an additional adapter. It's ready to roll with anything else you have already connected in the system. It should be able to be connected up direct into that loop. Okay, if you only got one header, you're sort of in luck then, but the point is whether this will be long enough, and it seems like it's borderline not even 30 centimeters. We shall verify that as well. Got ourselves what I used to call a chop, stolen from the tech room at the school that I used to go to. I apologize, it's a steel ruler, chop, but 300 millimeters long or 30 centimeters on the conventional scale system. If you're Australian, if you're American, I don't know what you say, it's 1 foot. I don't know, but I apologize for my naivety. It's borderline 30 centimeters long or 300 millimeters long. Okay guys, you got a little bit of an extension on that available from the male which is attached, but yeah, it's something that you guys should be aware of. Do your measurements beforehand, otherwise you'll be having to run back to the shop to be able to purchase some additional extenders or be waiting for it, because half the time the shops don't have them in stock. Delving deeper into the box, we've got ourselves neatly packeted 4 screws, which is cool. They haven't skimped out on anything, as well as your secure connector. Okay, so you just pop both in and you flick it in. With these, you want to worry about when you're taking them out so that you don't bend the pins. Just you have to apply pressure on both sides and sort of flick it out per se. That's something to be vigilant of, because those pins, they're quite thin in comparison to the old pins. Now we've also got an additional connector, if you guys can see that, and that's got a male to male connection, so that you can take that extension and make it male as well. That's really neat for connecting more and more items together into the loop per se. Okay, so that's cool as well.
So you've got everything you need, providing that the cable, if the cables were at least 40 centimeters, it's like they do it intentionally. If the cables were all 40 centimeters, then 40 centimeters across on a conventional ADX case would be ample space, but 30 centimeters, you know, to keep it neat and tidy is always going to be slightly a little too, pardon to say, retardy. Okay, now coming back to the piece de resistance, we got ourselves the Cycloflow 140 ARGB fan being pulled out. Whoa! And here it is, guys. I'll let you guys marvel at it for just a second. Nice, very nice. And they put the sticker on correctly this time. Well, at least, well, I haven't noticed them not. The rhodium ones were a little bit cheap. It's, you know, sometimes people say, how hard is it to put a sticker on straight? Because it infuriates you for the rest of your life if you notice it. Very, very good. Not recommended to spin these fans. I'm doing it for you all. I'm taking a hit for the team. But you shouldn't be spinning them when they're stationary. Okay, they should only be spinning when they're actually on. Having a closer look at what it says here, Cycloflow 140, verified. Also, the batch date is specified on the backside, so you can see exactly if you're still in doubt at the timeage. Around 2021, the 8th month. This has been sitting in the source for about 3 months, almost 3 months if that's the case, depending on the backlog of stock which is available, if there is any. And yeah, what is always on the back is generally the ampage as well, which specifies 0.40 amps. Okay, so it's a little bit of more heavier of an item. You wouldn't want to have 3 of these on one header at times. Something to consider, especially if you double check in your manual per se and the specs on your headers, because if you're pulling more, you may cause an issue or a problem to occur as well, including hardware failure, depending on the fan side of the motherboard and your luck. Okay, so accumulating that to 3 of them. If you got a massive, I don't know, radiator, or you got 3, or you got 4 of them, you got 2 on the front, 1 on the back, or whatever it might be, then it's going to equate to over 1 amp, and a lot of headers are only 1 amp rated too. So that's something to be vigilant of also. Okay, if you're noticing speed fluctuations, diminished speed capacity where you think it should be at a higher RPM, then disengage that stuff instantly, because that's probably the problem that you're having if connected to everything properly. Also, one more note, you do have a warranty sticker, generally in the worst possible place at times. Okay, but that warranty sticker is a massive tag, and you will void your warranty if removed, which is really annoying, frankly. But it does have the serial number on the back, I believe. But it's really annoying because of the fact that it's a fucking sticker on this. What is the difference? You know what I mean? Like, what is the difference of this sticker? Okay, because I know the stickers that you have, okay, on the back of a graphics card is generally on the 4 screws that assemble or disassemble the card initially, at the very least, okay, before you get deeper into it. And when you puncture that screw, okay, to get in with the screw, while you're unscrewing, it will emphasize that the card has also been tampered with in some way, shape or form, at the very least, you know, having the thermal paste replaced or something like that. Really annoying if you got an issue straight off the bat that could be easily rectified, okay, or an issue develops. You can find this out if you are meticulous and careful, but no one trusts anyone anymore. So as a result, just be vigilant of this sticker if you want to have your warranty claim handled promptly and properly, and integrally speaking, done so to begin with by Cooler Master. But I don't think Cooler Master is going to be too skimpy. Probably better for PR to replace a $12 to $18 fan than have, you know, a few people whining, which will cause word of mouth to spread and bad PR to begin. So with that being said, guys, that's a closer look at the 140mm ARGB Cycloflow fan
produced by Cooler Master. Well placed, as you can see, to be a decent fan in your case, regardless of the lower price spectrum to all other fans. Okay, and with a 2-year warranty, you won't be condemned too quickly for the price. You know, you get 2 of them for less than the price of a magnetic levitation fan from Corsair per se, and gives you essentially a 4-year warranty for those items. And it's a very simple installation when it comes to and or easy upgrade if you don't have any RGB or want to increase your RGB in your case. It's an easy upgrade because it's just an exhaust fan, generally speaking, that 140 for many people. So it's something that you guys can, you know, start off doing as well. If you haven't tinkered with your computer before, get your hands a little bit dirty, get a bit sweaty, and, you know, unscrew those 4 screws and replace that grotty non-RGB fan, guys. My name is Seb Luca. Thank you for chilling out with me at the Techness Corner. And from Melbourne, Australia, I gotta say, peace out.